Yay! Hey everyone, how's it going? We're on Dream Stream, doing it a little differently now. I'm gonna be doing, oh my God, there's like so much going on, so many updates. But I'm so grateful and excited to be here because I'm actually starting a new thing where every month I bring on another creative being and I'm going to be only doing these once a month because that feels really, really good. And today I'm going to be bringing on my lovely friend and amazing, amazing creator, Kieran Bamman. And she's just like, yeah, she's just amazing. She's one of my best friends since college. And I still really want to keep the theme of Dream Stream where you can just chill, grab a cup of tea or a little like lemonade or kombucha or whatever, get a comfy spot and just be here. Just be here with us. And you can feel free to chat in the comments section a little bit. I'll see like some of this stuff in YouTube. And yeah, we're just testing out a new platform today, so please give us some grace on the let's try to figure these things out situation. But other than that, I would love to give Kieran a warm, warm welcome. Oh God. No, I'm taking that off. And that is why. All right. So, given that again, I'm giving Kieran a warm, warm welcome because we had a little echo going on there. Come on in, Kieran. Oh my God, there she is, the legend.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Not me trying to figure out, like, how to do 2 things at once, but
That's
I've never
literally
been before.
that's literally what happened to me, like, literally just now, 2 seconds ago. I'm sure you
Mm.
heard that. There was some crazy echoing going on from my end. So I
Mhm,
was hoping
mhm.
I could, like, see if there were any comments and, like, whatever and be able to respond to them, but I think that'll be a next time thing so I don't have to
Mm.
multitask and we can just focus. Oh my
What are we
god.
focusing on today, Gabby?
Oh, I love that question.
Can
So
you explain your dream stream to me a little bit,
yeah,
and everyone else who's watching and listening?
yeah, absolutely. So, as I was saying, I've basically wanted to kind of switch up the gist of Dream Stream, but keep the core of the whole idea of it. And it's basically a calm space where we can get together and chat all things creative, dream, visionary, soul creation, higher self, whatever comes out, but all of it has to do with some form of creativity. Um, and we're gonna kind of just basically go through a really cool conversation and see what comes up for us. Usually, I would, like in my past streams and stuff, I would keep it to like a really quick, whatever, uh, do a meditation, pull some cards, do all these exercises and stuff. And I think I've been kind of just feeling like that's like a lot
Mm,
to like throw in. And I really just want to have this space to be a place where I can actually highlight um, and allow other creators to just be themselves, to share a little bit about themselves, and we can just have a conversation about, yeah, like how the heck do we create? What is creativity? Um, and I have like a couple of like questions and stuff like written down for you today,
mm,
and we can just have an organic conversation.
mm,
It's not really gonna go much over, like, 75 minutes. I think that's, like, my max for today. So I
mm.
don't wanna keep it I don't wanna keep us too long, but I want us to be able to get into some nice juicy stuff. Yeah.
Take me there.
Let's do it. Let's go
See what
on
I
a
have to
creative.
say.
I
What
love it.
comes out.
Yeah, no, because like I really love like, being able to hear other perspectives and just see how creativity works, like see how our minds work, see like what what the process is like from when you get an idea and like the vision comes down and then like how do we alchemize that.
Mm,
Um so I think that where I want to start today, Kieran, is what is like what's going on in your like create like what's something that you've been creating lately? What's up in your creative world? And that doesn't
mm,
have to just be like a photo sort of thing. It doesn't have to be like any sort of thing. Like creativity can be like what you made for dinner last night. It can be podcasts. It can be, you know, an event or something in your business or, even just a vibe or an
mm.
intention. So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting because, I think as an artist, we fluctuate a lot
Mhm.
between, am I an artist and am I not an artist because of the pressures of society? And when we're
Mhm.
not actively creating consistently, it sort of, like, dulls the sense in ourselves, and
Mhm.
I think after college, which was, like, 7 or 8 years ago now, I really had to force myself to sort of keep creating, and then I ended up
Mhm.
stopping because it was forced and it wasn't
Mhm.
this in sort of natural process, or at
Mhm.
least, like, my creative process changed, and I was sort of uncomfortable with the idea that the creative process can change and develop, because in college, I feel like I trained myself to be so particular and so meticulous and, like, my art is photography and film, and this is what I do, and then when that wasn't as accessible anymore, it sort of made me question, what am I really doing? How am I an artist? And am I even showing up as an artist? And do I have the time? And in real life, I didn't have the time. I was broke, and then, fighting those thoughts of getting out of college and having, needing a real job, I guess, real being the operative word, and not like letting the path unfold and then being the creator in the process. And
Mhm.
it's been 7 or 8 years, and I say that and I bring that up because I feel like right now in my life, I have done a lot of, like, different stuff with exploring and going out into the world and finding a new place to live, and then making it work and doing all those, like, real structural society things while
Mhm.
trying to maintain, like, who I am as an artist inside, and who am I, what do I want to create and what do I want to put into the world, and
Mhm.
um, being really lost in all of that, and tired, really tired. And so I've kind of been in this interesting point, where I'm wanting to, like, go back to who I was when I had the time to be an artist and to create, and see how that person, or where that person in me is, or, like, now in today's life, and where that fits in, and where I can be creative and use the skills that I've learned and everything, and kind of, like, find myself again. So I've been in this very retrospective state of sort of remembering a lot of what I loved about who I was when I was in my deepest creative senses of self, I wanna say, and I would say college was one of those things. I would say there were a couple points, in between, because like you said, creation doesn't mean photography, it doesn't mean podcasting, it doesn't mean anything. Creating is literally taking an idea, and actually someone said that, my client said this to me yesterday, but it's taking an idea from nothing and turning it into something. Like, that is creation. And when we think of creativity, it has to be an art, it has to be drawing, painting, it has to be all these things. But I think, like, when I was two things stand out to me when I was feeling like most like myself and feeling like this, I keep saying the word artist because I don't have a better definition for it, at the moment, but it was also when I was learning yoga
Mm.
And when I was facilitating yoga in Wyoming as a
Mm.
retreat and starting to create my own, 3-day retreats with people
Wow.
and
Yeah.
create classes in the morning that meant more than just a sunrise yoga, and
Mhm.
how I was adding my own flair and my own sense of self into things rather than it just
Mm.
being like a cut of somebody else's personality or something. I was, like, trying to show
Mhm.
up as me,
Mhm.
and then I feel like the world sort of pummels us a bit. It pummels and
Mhm.
humbles. Pummels us
Humbles.
in the way that, we get really sidetracked
Yeah.
from our
Yeah.
destinies and our paths and our just, like,
Mm.
true, like, nature and what we really
Yeah.
want, and then it
Oof.
becomes this, like, side quest to be who we
Mhm.
like, p to be it becomes a side quest for what
Mm.
we wanna do, and,
Yeah.
like, we get distracted from all of that, and, like, so I've sort
Mm.
of been in this creative process of, like, coming back to those, like, pieces of me that I
Mm.
lost in the pumbling of
Mhm.
the matrix and society and
Yeah.
making money and being too tired to be that and do that.
Yeah.
And I've started doing yoga again, and I've started this podcast called Take Time Podcast, which is it's been these, like, yeah, right? And it's exciting, and but it feels good. And
Mhm.
that's, like, the most important thing about creation is we think we have to create something to make money, and, like, this podcast has
Mhm.
nothing to do with money, it's just to do with me, and it's
Mhm.
with my growth and my expansion and seeing myself differently and showing up differently than
Mm.
I would have been maybe more reserved and not wanting to show myself and all those things. And so,
Yeah.
really to answer your question, what I've been doing creatively is I've been reflecting and digging up the past and
Mm.
finding the parts of that I wanna take with me and be in today's world, and that's
Mm.
been everything from, reading old journals. I actually
Mhm.
pulled out my certifications today, just going through my stuff and looked at my bachelor's degree and all my other certifications, and I was like, "Damn, girl, like, you've done a lot." And I don't give myself the credit for any of that. They sit in a folder hidden away, and
Mhm.
it's like I feel like God and the universe is just pushing me right now
Mhm.
to find those parts that I needed then
Yeah.
and take them back now and sort of
Mm.
get away from the mental patterning and thoughts that I've had that have suppressed all of this and told myself, "Hey, you're not an artist." Because
Mm.
it's like, no,
Mm.
I think everyone can be. And it
Oof.
doesn't mean I have to draw every day. It doesn't mean I
Yeah.
have to take photography, like, pictures every day. It doesn't mean I have
Yeah.
to record an episode every day. It's like,
Mm.
uh, it's just how I wanna be and who I wanna be and if
Yes.
it feels good or not. So
Ooh, ooh, ooh. You just
yeah.
got me so excited. I have, like, all of, like, the hairs, like, standing on end because okay, first off, I just wanna, like, highlight the fact that you use the word artist, right? And it brings me actually to a book that I have been reading, and I just finished it the other day. It's actually on Toltec wisdom,
Mm,
and, one of the words that they use in the tradition is the nahual.
mhm,
And, they have the tonal and then they have the nahual, and the nahual actually translates literally to artist. So in that kind of space is like, essentially exactly what you just said is like you're literally in the space of creating your life every day,
mm,
and tapping back into those states where you're, in when you were in the yoga teacher training and you were forming, these retreats and the all the kind of stuff, it's like, you know, remembering and tapping back into that creator that is always there.
mhm,
And, like spaces like that, right? Like, deep healing spaces, whether you're creating them or you're participating in them, that's like they can really help open up that part of you that is already like innately always there. And
mhm.
Oh my god, I love that, because it's really funny. I've literally been also doing the same thing, just coming up and, like, opening up old notes from trainings or, even retreats or festivals that I've been to, and it really, like, almost like doing that, like, um, it it almost does something to the soul, I've
Mhm.
found, where it's like, "Oh, wait, this is me still." Like, I may not be in that particular time, I may not be doing the exact things that I was doing then, to a T, but this still exists within me always, and I can always tap back into it, and,
Mm.
even just going to the point of, like, feeling sometimes like, the things that we wanna create, like our visions and our, like, you know, soul projects or, um, businesses or whatever the heck be it, sometimes feel like a side quest. I was actually talking to my mom this morning about it, and, there's something really profound that happens when we, like, decide to fully believe in our visions and
Mhm.
fully believe in our creativity, like and I mean, like, stop taking everybody's or all of the outer factors into, how important it is for you to create, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, like, I feel something in my heart, like, right here, and I, like, wanna just take a breath for that.
Ooh, yeah. I
Woo.
think that sums up what I was saying nicely.
Hey.
The outer factors that
You
yeah.
know? Yeah, because, okay, so, like, I don't know if you've noticed this in yourself, right? But, like, about a month ago, I decided, like, I noticed, I was like, "Man, I feel, like, really run down into the ground. Why am I feeling" um, like, a lot of, like, crazy body things were happening and, money wasn't coming in. Things were all these things were not flowing. And one day I was just like, "I wanna just record YouTube videos just for fun and, like, practice the things that I actually learned in college and beyond and combine
Mhm.
them in a way that feels fully 100% me and not care what anybody else says about it, and just enjoy it and actually give myself a professional schedule for it."
Aw,
And
sounds so
yeah, like,
kid-like.
actually putting I'm not even kidding you, I'm not even kidding you, money started pouring in, my energy started coming back,
Mm.
um, my schedule started to actually form around that schedule naturally,
Mm.
like, jobs started flowing in to no
Hmm.
end, like, I have, like, goosebumps talking about this, but, like, just that, like, quick, like, change of, like, "Okay, I actually believe in myself," you know?
Mhm.
Um,
Absolutely.
because it's like, "Oh, wow," like, I just wanna create, that's all I wanna do, and that actually reminds me of a good friend of ours, Eva's, sessions where, you know, create was life purpose, you know?
Mm.
Whew. And, I'm curious, like, if you've kind of, like, experienced anything like that where you've had, like, a shift from, like, maybe being kind of on the edge of doing something and then maybe you decided, like, "No, I'm just gonna go for this and trust the process and see, what life brings me."
Mm.
And if you've seen any, like, significant changes that you'd like to share, like, this is the place to do it.
Oh gosh, I mean, so many times I'm still just thinking about everything you said as well, but I think just to keep it present day, a shift, I mean, I've been talking about starting a podcast since, like, 2023 is when I moved, I believe. So I've just like had this idea with my clients, and I was like, I want to start, like, after all these conversations I've been having, I'm so inspired. I want to start a podcast and everything. And like, it's 2026. So that's like 3 years. And I feel like that's usually my nest is like, I have a 3 year hold and then it happens or it becomes real.
Yeah.
I, when I oh gosh, now they're all coming to me. I guess another time too was when I was in Wyoming and I had my own yoga studio space. I really wanted to get into like partner stretching and
Mhm.
working like one on one with people and specifically couples. And
Mm.
then I ended up, just having this little nugget of an idea, and I recorded pictures and videos and then I just put it down. And then,
Mm.
you know, in the 3 years it took for that baby to hatch, because it did, last year I actually hosted 2 partner couples stretching workshops. We launched on
Mm.
Valentine's Day and then another time, but, it's like in that meantime, the dream was becoming real. And it was like I was gaining all the things necessary I needed to be able to
Mm.
even do that. You have an idea and, like, we wanna throw it out into
Mm.
the world, and that's so cool and awesome that we do that, but when we really take our time to get somewhere instead of just making it, like, tomorrow's destination,
Mhm.
it really is humbling, but also interesting because everything that I learned in the meantime prepared me for that moment. And it's not that I looked like that. It's
Whew.
not like I looked at it and was like, 3
Mhm.
years, it was kinda rough, That's how I felt. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, now I'm here and this makes sense." Like, no, not at all. But the reality is, like, I ended up learning
Mhm.
partner stretching and one-on-one stretching and getting
Mm.
certified in it, and now it's a business for me, and
Mhm.
probably along the way, just learning how to work with people and become personable with people that
Yeah.
I didn't have the skills in, and through my 2
Mm.
years of training in that and certifications and becoming a lead in that, that is what gave me that skill, and then that
Yeah.
skill was what transferred to 3 years later being able to actually host a workshop in it, and I think the same
Mm.
thing is happening with the podcast.
Mhm.
Um, but what I really like that you said before was, "This is still me," and I
Mm.
love that because we I've always been someone who that struggled with, like, the in between, because
Mhm.
in between those 3 years is a lot of time, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's really hard to stay confident, stay motivated, stay happy about our path and ourselves, and sometimes we really veer the fuck off.
Mhm.
Like, really take a different direction, and then I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm not me anymore, I'm not an artist, blah, blah, blah." But it's like, really, y
Mhm.
all that veering, all those side quests, all those things come back if you want them to. You can
Mhm.
get lost and you can go into a spiral and you could never come back, I guess, if you want to.
Mhm.
But inside all of us, we want to. And
Yeah.
so when you say this is me still, I just love that because
Mhm.
that's so personable to me and near and dear. And now I'm like, yeah, this is still me. And
Mm.
I was that girl then in college in Wyoming and wherever, but now I get to just take those really good parts and bring it into the next baby, the next project, the next thing
Mm.
I want to do in the world. And and yeah, and I think that you also said, it creates this belief in yourself. And what I've been
Mhm.
really noticing in the first question's creative process and looking back, and
Mhm.
I'm noticing I'm finding my self belief again, and then finding my
Mm.
self trust in reflecting on those moments. Because when you're going through a lot of things, if you're like me, you're really hard on yourself, right?
Mm.
And it doesn't feel like
Mm.
an accomplishment. There's no celebration. There's no, "I did good and this feels good." It's just like, "All right, well, I hit that milestone. Let's hit the next one," and, like,
Yeah.
yay, like, brush it off, didn't even happen. And then, like, when you look back and think of, like, "Oh, no, like, I did all of that." I have
Mhm.
literally, like, 12 certifications that took
Mhm.
years in the making and studying and tests, and it's like,
Yeah.
"Wait a second, like,
Yeah.
those things sometimes recollecting on those things is what I've found really helped me come back around to believing in myself.
Yeah.
And also validation from, like,
Mm,
others and support and things, but, like,
mhm.
with if you get rid of the people in your life and you really wanna look at yourself to believe in yourself, for me, that's really what's helped the most is reflecting and then being like, "Wow, actually, like, that
Yeah.
project I did was so good."
Oh, yeah.
Like, no one's eyes will ever see it, but
Oh,
that
yeah.
was really good, or, like,
I love
hosting
that.
a class or something and being like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I actually, like, facilitated a class with, like, 15 plus people," or, like, our
Hell yeah.
circles we used to do, like,
Yeah.
just we did some cool shit, Gabby.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
we
so, yeah.
did. It, like, literally reminds me of, graduation, and I forget the name of the woman who was speaking at the moment. I am so sorry to whoever that is, but I will always remember that she really emphasized that, like, as you go through life, remember to, like, celebrate yourself, like, to have those moments of reflection because it's like those are always the moments that take us back to center,
Mhm.
right? And, I actually think makes me think of a video that occasionally I watch, when I'm, like, on a plane and I don't have any service. I, like, saved it to my, like, whatever archive, and it's this wise old man in the desert just, you know, reminding us that, like, wherever you are in life, the most important place for you to come back to is your center.
Mhm.
And your center, literally, if we think about the energy centers of, in yoga and in so many other traditions is the heart, and whatever's in the heart, um, is that, like, gratitude that we've had to be able to, like, go ahead and create, like, circles or create film projects, like, even I'm just, like, thinking back to, like, holy crud, I collaborated with another friend, on a mock music video during the pandemic, both shooting from separate locations, and we were able to make something, like, really freaking cool with a shitty camera, and, like, even being able to, like, call back moments like that where it's like, "Wait, I'm gonna take this back to, like, the we just, like, create something from nothing."
Mhm.
You know? And
Mhm.
and I think that's, like, really getting back to that, essence of living your life as an artist, you know?
Mhm.
And, again, even, like, in the, like, Toltec tradition, like, um, they, like the remembering process is actually really, really important, like, we could go forward and forward and forward, but, like, sometimes the things that, like, help us create the most are actually those moments of, like, remembering. Because
Mhm.
we can actually go ahead and, like, take the little parts and things that, like, really, really mattered to us and, like, highlighted, and we're like, "No, I actually want more of this stuff," you know? Or, like, not even that, just feeling, that sense of, like, gratitude for, like or even I don't even know if it's, like, gratitude alone. It almost feels like a sense of, like, inner spark or something for, like, a lack of, better
I'm getting,
words.
like, embodiment.
Yeah, like embodiment, it just feels like the universe is dancing within, my entire
Yeah,
system, if that makes
that was a
sense.
point too, yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm literally looking at my candle and I'm like, yeah, like, how does it register in my body when, like, I'm feeling, like, inspired, you know?
Mhm.
And, that's probably a way I would put it is, like, the universe, dancing in every cell of my body, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How would you, I don't know. Okay, this kind of like impromptu like question, but even just going off the point of embodiment, right? Is I actually want to ask how, even to both of us, right? Like how we would both um explain how our body feels when we have either okay, so there's I'll remind you of
Mhm.
it as we go along. How does your body feel like when an idea comes in versus when you just feel, like, really inspired in general versus, like we'll just do 3 points. So it was when an idea comes in, general inspiration, where, like, you've just completed a project and, like, you just birthed something into the world.
And
How does
you're
it
asking how they're different or
Yeah, so, like, how I mean, it's, like, where does it register in your body? Like, if you just take, like, a second to, like, just, like, feel in, like
Mhm.
and if you want, I can, like, do examples too within, like, how I get it.
I mean, I think for me, maybe it's the earth sign in me, maybe it's the Virgo, I don't know. Everything is sort of, like, belly oriented, gut, I
Mhm,
would say.
mhm,
It's kind of like my indicator. Anything
mhm,
that's, like, good and even, like, I guess not good too, but,
mhm.
I don't know, it's hard to say. I
Yeah.
think it's different. Like, for me, I'm, like, an action-oriented person,
Mhm,
so, like, when I have that sort of spark come in
mhm,
or, like, before I was doing yoga and, um, I just, like, had an idea for a topic for, like, potting and stuff like that, and I just was like, "Oh, it's just like a fleeting thought, and this happens a lot with, like, writing too. I love to write, and, I'm not, like, inherently inspired all the time. It's just,
mhm,
like, something will come in, like, I'll hear a sentence or something, like, the first line, and then I'm like,
mhm,
"Oh, if I don't write this down, if I don't find something to, like, type on or write on, like, the second, like, it'll be gone."
mhm,
Um, so, like but I know that that only happens when I feel like my life and surroundings are sort of in line and in capacity,
mm.
where, like,
Ooh.
if I'm exhausted or overworking or working, honestly, the wrong job that I'm not paying attention to, and I'm just working because I should work that
Yeah,
job or,
yeah,
even just if I'm overtired or doing too much too, when there's
mhm,
no space to allow that sort of creativity to come through for me, it
mhm,
doesn't happen. But I'm the one either giving it to myself or not. So
mhm,
when the idea comes in, it's because I have, like, a clear mind, and it's because I
mhm,
have space. I have thought up some of the best things in my life in, like, a shavasana or, like, in down dog or something, like, I'm not
yeah.
necessarily doing nothing, but, like, it just in those moments when you give yourself, like, your mind that freedom,
Mm,
to just I used to set an alarm for 10 minutes and go
mhm,
sit outside and turn my phone on do not
mhm,
disturb just to, like, give myself an expectation time to not do something,
yeah.
to just like, not
Ooh.
even just breathe, like, literally nothing.
Mhm, mhm.
Minimal control, like, you know?
Ooh.
So you have to, like, not look for it, I think.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
mean, at least for me, and,
yeah,
I mean, how it feels to birth it is like you mentioned we have to celebrate ourselves, and I never did that. I don't even know what
mhm.
that means. Does that mean, like, go get a margarita? Like, what does celebrating yourself even mean? Like, you know, being real. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I think part of that was like, how do you celebrate when you don't know what like, how to celebrate that
yeah.
achievement? And also,
Mm.
like, you deciding when an achievement is worth celebrating too.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think that a lot of things are. I mean, don't be overzealous with it, like, because then
Mhm.
it loses its value of the celebration, but, like, yeah,
Mm.
something that took 3 years to sit on and earth, like, that deserves a celebration, you know?
It
And
does.
I think, like, of whatever feels good to you. I mean,
Mhm.
celebrating for me could be, I guess nowadays, like, honestly, an evening where I'm just, like, introverting and I have the lights dim and I have a candle and I'm
Mm,
journaling or pulling some cards and, like, recentering, sort of, like, that's a celebration. That can
yeah,
be. It doesn't have to involve people, so I don't know.
yeah. I actually love that you just, like, described that too because, like, I almost like earlier when we were talking about space to reflect, can be a way to celebrate too, you know, like, and I love that you just described that where you're like, yeah, it can be like just a solo space where you turn on a candle and just some nice music and that's like you time or, you know, whether you just go on a little hike one day or even those like 10 minutes that you set aside, like, you
Mhm.
know, like it doesn't have to be anything huge or extravagant. Um, but, like, it's often in I find it personally, like, even similar to you, it's often in those moments where we have the space that, like, naturally, um
Uh-oh, I lost you. Is it me or you? Hmm. Wait, Gabby, come back. You have frozen.
yams? Alright, we're
Oh, there
back.
you are. There you are.
Yeah, I just dropped for a second, but we're alright. But yeah, like, I think it's in those moments, you know, and, I love what you said, like, about, things coming into, like, your gut,
Mhm.
when, you know, like, whether it's inspiration or so, and, like, the action orientedness too, like, where you're like, "Yeah, it's here, you know, I'm gonna just keep going," and,
Mm.
um, I love that you also said that, like, you know, those things come in when your life feels like, you know, even if it's those fleeting moments like in Shavasana or those 10 minutes that you take, like, that's, like, when you've, like, opened yourself up in a way, you know? And it kinda reminds me of, like, even just moments where, you know, like, I would be either on a walk or on an airplane or, like, honestly, just, like, unapologetically just watching one of my favorite shows or something like that with, you know, no purpose and just allowing my brain to rest.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I literally remember, watching the show Queen's Gambit when I got the idea to go to France and study film.
That show.
You know, and yeah, such a great show, and,
Great.
like, she was in Paris, and I was like, "I have to go to Paris, that's it." You know,
Mhm.
I'm set, dead set, and, you
Mm.
know, I'm literally remembering the sensations too, and, like, I love that, like, for you, it's, like, very, like, earthy and, like, towards the gut. Actually, for me, it was, like, everything third eye, like, my entire, like there was, like, a band
Mm.
of, like, energy that was just, like, boom, and, like, seeing colors and stuff, and it was like, "This is your job, you must do this."
Mhm.
And then, like, um, the inspiration coming down and then, like, landing in the heart and the belly also. But, I'm also getting, like, some of that kinda, like, sensation of, like, the toes wiggling, like, my toe like, it's
I
maybe it's, like,
oddly
my
wiggled my toes when you said that, though.
like
Tiny.
I don't know, it's just, like okay, maybe it's, like, the dancer in me, like, whenever I
Mhm.
got really excited about something when I was really little and even still, I would start Irish step dancing or running across the house. Like,
Mm.
even when my boyfriend sent me a poem for the first time, I literally remember running around the house and be like, you know, just, like, every bit of excitement, like, went up in the body.
Mm.
And, I noticed this, like, huge heat come up, like, heat rising,
Mm.
and, like, I'd get all sweaty and, like, all kinds of crazy stuff like that. But I just,
Mhm.
like why I'm asking too is because, like, sometimes we don't even realize, like, what our physical body does when we're inspired. Like,
Mm.
um, even those like, we could be I don't know if you get this, but, like, sometimes I could be exhausted, feel like a pancake, so tired, don't know what to do, just wanna lay down, and then all of a sudden an idea comes at 3 AM, And now I feel like I had 3 espressos and I could go on for 8 hours,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
And, I think that's, like, such a powerful, like, energy to pay attention to, or, like, even just physiological thing to pay attention to, because it's like when we feel like this urge or inspiration or spark, it's like that it can change the entire trajectory of, where we were before,
Mhm.
you know? And, yeah, I don't know. How are you feeling about that?
Um, yeah, I think as someone who's very analytical, and heady,
Mhm,
overthinky, and just
mhm,
always in, like, the mental space,
mhm,
and I think a lot of the world operates in that way as we're always looking for distractions from our minds, from ourselves, instead of in delving in the craft that
mhm,
we really want to be working with and on,
mhm,
and something you notice too, when you're really, like, hands-on working with your craft, whether it be, like it could be pottery, it could be photography, it could be anything, what your craft is, when you're physically hands-on with that
yeah,
activity, where is your mind? Your mind isn't stirring anymore, you know?
mm,
Your mind isn't
mm,
thinking about past, present, future, your mind is on the activity that you're doing, and
yeah,
it's focused, and
mm,
I think that that's like, the most beautiful part about, like,
mhm,
being in our craft, um, but it's taking you out of the mind, it's taking you into the physical, and that's what you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
You're talking about being in the body and noticing at those moments in our days when we're so out of body all the time, you know, we're
mhm,
always, like, here instead of, like,
mhm,
here, and,
mm,
it's definitely something I learned in Ayurveda too,
mhm,
um, but yeah, I think that it's like, when we are in those senses where we can be in our body, that's when we're the most relaxed also, you
ah,
know?
oh,
And, like, being relaxed is, like, honestly, like, priceless, like, it's
mhm,
worth more than any dollar amount I could even
yeah,
imagine personally,
oh,
and
yes,
when you think about it, you know, people are always trying to create something for a monetary value, like I kinda said
mhm,
before, but, like, when you're not doing that, like, how does that feel? Like, how does
yeah,
that feel versus, like, "I gotta get this on Instagram. I gotta promote
yeah,
this to the world. I need 7,000 followers in 2 days."
mhm,
Like, no.
mm,
But when you're sitting there and you're making a vase out of clay
mhm,
for your room or your kitchen and
yeah,
you're in it, that is like that's the soul. That's the
oof,
soul coming out and in its expression in true form. And I think whenever we're on the right path and whenever we're doing something that we're really meant to be doing,
mhm,
we're not thinking about it, we're doing it.
yeah,
And we're not stopping ourselves, we're doing it.
mhm,
And your, Queen's Gambit part about, you know, it being like, "Go to Paris." You know, I think
mhm,
we're always given and gifted if we really look, and when we're in the body and we're not in the mind, when we look around the world
mm,
in our daily lives and we see these signs everywhere
yeah,
guiding us to what we love. It's
oof,
never and if it's not reflecting what you love, look at yourself.
mm,
Like, look
yeah,
in. Look in and figure that out
mm,
because the world is trying to harmonize you.
mm,
It's you that is resisting the world. And that is a life lesson that is personal, that took me years, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to listen, right? But
ooh,
there's always those signs all around us, and people say numbers, people say
mhm,
animals, and you can be literally watching a TV show. Sometimes when I'm interested in an idea, I'll just have, like, all directions coming at me
mm,
that are, like,
yeah,
bringing up that idea. It could be a friend on vacation, it could be a TV show that
mhm,
comes in, it could be a commercial on the radio, it could be it's all
yeah,
these things that are like, "Hey, like, ding, 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 ding,
we're
ding,
here.
ding, like, listen to us." It's no coincidence, like, I don't believe
Yeah,
in coincidences. Coincidences
mm,
don't exist. Everything is synchronistic, like, we think that we control the
yeah,
world, and we don't. So that's
mhm,
if you
yeah,
don't unpopular opinion, but if you don't believe or sorry, if you don't believe in coincidences, like, stop controlling things.
Yeah, stop controlling this. It's like that song, I release
Oh god, I don't even wanna
control.
hear that shit right now.
Like, I sing it for the both of us because I know we're both, like, it's a
Yeah,
daily practice. Like, I think, um,
everything
just
is.
like it is conscious breathing, like, of being able
Mhm,
to, like, um, s not even slow down, but just allow ourselves to be in the present moment and see that, like, literally every day we're exactly where we need to be in order to, receive what we need for the next thing and so on and so forth, it's like, um,
mm,
even like, right, like for a little bit I was like struggling with the idea of like not having a car, and needing to be on Long Island where I'm at right now. But then, I was like, all right, well, if I'm here right now, let me make the best of it. And then it was crazy because I have exactly all of the books that I need to get the inspiration. I like would sit down and go and clean my room and, almost like play with like the space and be like, well, what do I have? What's here? What is here? Literally, what is physically here?
mhm,
And then I would like set the space and like make an altar with some paintings and some cool stuff that's like really inspiring and stuff. And then I would see what Gabby would wanna come out that day,
mm,
based on what I found, and almost every single time, I would do that and even turn on music,
mhm,
exactly what I needed to do would come up in those moments, and some of it would just be like, "You just gotta ground, you gotta move." Or it would be like, "Hey, maybe go make some tofu or, like, eat some chicken nuggets, dang it." Like, do what you want, because, and it's not necessarily to the point where it's like, "Oh, do what feels comfortable, do what your inner child wants." Like, it's just feeling into those moments, where the synchronicities, like you said, are guiding, in each moment, even if it, like, doesn't make any sense, you know, like,
yeah,
logically, and,
yeah,
there's so much magic that would come from it, it might be like, "Well, look, you gotta just lay your ass down and rest,"
mm,
and maybe a really crazy dream would come to you that would then give you inspiration for the next day,
mhm,
Um, like, even to, like, a simpler point, this morning, I was feeling super anxious because 'cause I'm like, "I have a lot to do this week," was very in the head, and, I just remember being like, "Alright, I'm gonna go do some yoga." Did some yoga, felt a little better, and all I heard during, like, yoga practice, like, within me was like, "Girl, just go write your stuff down. Write down what you gotta do. Just do your to-do list. Get it out of your body. Put it on paper. That's it." Like, sometimes it's literally as simple as that. Like, we don't even have to go to outside things. Sometimes we just have to take account of what's going on
mm,
internally,
mhm,
and it's almost like that even goes to, like, points of, like, moments where maybe we feel a little, like, creatively blocked or, like, stuck or, like, there's just too much going on is because, like, well, maybe we have to put some stuff down first,
mhm,
and it isn't like, "Oh my god, I have to get rid of it or push it away." It just has to be, like, in front of me instead of inside my body spinning around in circles,
mhm,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
And I think that gets to, like, another point I'd love to reflect on with you is, like, um, I don't know, how do you handle, when you're moving through, I don't necessarily wanna call it a block, I wanna call it, like, when you find, like, really, stubborn energy that feels like it's a little, like, hard to move.
mm,
Like, how do you move through that in your creation process or in
mm.
general?
Something yeah, how I get through when
Mhm.
I'm feeling stuck, essentially,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I spiral. No, sometimes it depends. Sometimes you get stuck because you gotta stay stuck. I don't know.
I agree. I wholeheartedly. Can we just say that? You gotta be
Sometimes
stuck.
universe is like, "Bitch, sit down." Like, I don't know, evaluate, reassess. I mean, to be honest, like, I don't wanna just give, like, the fruitful answer of like, "Well,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
use the 5-second rule and get up." It's like, no. Sometimes, like, I genuinely need to sleep, and I haven't, and I've been so deprived, and, like,
Yeah.
honestly, usually the solution is the thing with the most resistance.
Mm,
So, it
mm,
it kinda makes me feel I've noticed, I'm 30 now, but I've
mhm,
noticed, like, things you do when you're a kid make sense.
mhm.
When you're feeling stuck is equivalent to when you are feeling cranky. When you're
Mm.
a kid, and, like,
Yeah.
what solves cranky Kieran is a
Mm.
nap. Or some food, okay? Like,
Yeah.
we I think we've got it a little wrong in society of when we
Mhm.
get stuck, it's like, "Alright, well, here's my list because Jay Shetty told me all these things I need to do when I'm stuck,"
Yeah.
and it's like, go for a walk, go for a bike
Yeah.
ride, dance, turn on music, listen
Mhm,
to a podcast, like, yes, all those things have certainly
mhm.
helped me in the past, but sometimes you sit down and you go to write and you're mad because it's like nothing's gonna come out, so
Yeah.
I'm just forcing it at that point, and sometimes
Mm.
the creative thing is not what I need to be doing. It's
Yeah.
rest, it's eating a nourishing meal, it's literally
Mhm,
drinking water, and
mhm,
or sometimes, like, for me, I'm like I said, I'm very mental in my head, so
mhm.
sometimes I need to really shut that off,
Yeah.
and I don't watch a lot of TV, but man, sometimes laying on the couch and putting on a show and then pretending like you're in that life for, like, 6 hours helps. It just
Yeah.
helps.
Whew.
I don't know,
Whew. I love
so,
that.
like, truthfully, the answer is always just listening to, like, either the thing that's least resist that I'm sorry, the thing that has the most resistance that you don't want to do, or it's not that, and it's very simple. And it's actually not anything on the to-do list. It's the not doing. It's the thing that you've been maybe thinking about, or I should say the thing I've been thinking about in the back of my mind that I'm not doing. Like, "Oh my gosh, I've been thinking about going to this yoga studio for, like, 3 months now. I haven't gone, but maybe I'm feeling stuck and I need someone else to teach me something today, and so I
Right.
go do that, and then it kinda goes into what you were talking about, before of then the world unfolds for you
Yeah.
because you're
Oof.
not stopping yourself, you have
Mhm.
clarity, you or I think, like, the antidote to stuckness is clarity,
Mm,
and getting that clarity is where you have to make the action to do it. You
mm.
know, I could go to that
Yeah.
yoga class, be introduced to a teacher, and all of a sudden, she's either my best friend, I have a new job, I have even just an inspiring feeling for the rest of the evening. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be super permanent, but you never know what's gonna happen. And I love your
Mm.
story because it may was instantly making me think about how we're always in a rush and it's like, I
Yeah.
could go to that yoga class, and I could talk to nobody, and I could feel good
Mhm,
about the experience, and then I wanna get out of there. I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna
mm,
go home, I'm gonna go to bed, I don't wanna go to bed too late, whatever, all these things that we
mm,
in our head.
mm,
Or I could not be in a rush. I could maybe say hi to the yoga instructor. I could maybe
mhm,
say hi to the person sitting next to me and end up in this amazing conversation that changes something either inside me, either even if it's just emotional, it changes something, and it
mm.
always will. So when we're not in a rush to get to this destination, we can
Mhm,
actually take the time to explore and have fun with
mm.
where we're at also,
Oof.
you know?
Yes.
Um and then the last thing I wanted to say is I stopped writing to-do list at the top
Mm,
of my paper, and I started
mm.
writing brain dump.
Love that.
And for some reason, it psychologically feels better even though I know that it's, like,
Mhm,
a list of shit that I wanna do, but
mhm.
like you said, it's getting it out. And
Mhm.
that's what also creates that space
Yeah.
and that openness for, like, better feedback to come back in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oof. Oof. I love, like, the juiciness of, like, everything that you just shared, and,
Mm.
like, I really, really wanna emphasize, like, the fact that it's, like, sometimes when we feel like we're stuck, like, sometimes we just need to go down that spiral. Like, a lot of the times, like, say, like,
Guilty.
you go through some influencer, famous person's, like, "Hey, here's things that you a list of 10 things you can do when you feel stuck," and, like, that's not to say those are wrong, those are options if they feel good, but
Mhm.
sometimes, like, we look for those things when we're afraid of going into the deep.
Mhm.
Like, when we're afraid of going down that spiral because what is like, we're scared of what that spiral is gonna lead us to, and now, like, that's also not to say, like, if you're not in a great place, like, okay, maybe you do wanna call on a little support to maybe be with you while you spiral,
Mhm.
or, like, there's gonna be things that you personally know that you need, um, you know, and, sometimes it's with support, sometimes it's on your own.
Mm.
But, like, to just allow ourselves to go into maybe, like, the deeper end, you know, or just be with the uncomfortability of whatever it is that we're feeling while we're feeling it, instead of just be like, "What can I do to stop this or fix it?" Because we don't have to fix it, you
Mm.
know? Um, like, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they were like, I'm feeling really, like, nervous about, whatever it was that they were going through," um, you know, it it was actually really profound because like, I remember just being like, "Yeah, like, what's going on in there?" And I didn't try to, like, tell them not to be nervous, and at the end of the conversation, they were like, "Abby, thank you for not telling me what to do with that. I actually feel a lot better,
Mm.
after just having a conversation,
Mhm.
and it's like sometimes that's all we need or just to like sit with it alone, like or with a tree or, whatever it is, in order to allow it, the stuck feeling or the funkiness to just roll over on its own because it's like a storm, storms
Mhm.
pass, you know,
I
and
think
like,
too, just
yeah.
doing, like,
Yeah.
just doing, and it doesn't mean you have to do something artistic. It doesn't
Mhm.
like, when I'm definitely in funks, I cook curry
Mhm.
every time.
I love that.
Every time I cook curry because you wanna know why? Because I have to
Mhm.
sit and chop vegetables,
Mm.
and I have to wash them, and
Mhm.
it's such a process from just sautéing garlic to creating a whole recipe that
Mm.
is nourishing and warm and feels really good, and
Mm.
that's, like, my thing, you know?
I love
When I
that.
feel stuck, I cook. I make a pot of fucking curry,
I
and
love
then I get
you
to reap the
so much.
reward of eating it.
That's amazing though, because that I feel like that's so similar to, like, how I go ahead and I clean my room. I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
let's see what" like, I literally go on, like, a scavenger hunt. I'm like, "Hmm, what do I have in here? Is there anything that, like, I'm not feeling like I want anymore?" It's like, is there something I can pass on to another person or something like that? Like,
Mm.
and, I think things like that are another, way of getting us into the body
Mhm.
and out of the head instead, and it's almost like shortcut like short-circuiting the spiraling thought or
Mhm.
feeling in the body, and, yeah, that some of those, like, mundane things that we think about, even, like, doing the dishes, watering the plants, going to the garden, chores, things that maybe we were taught as, kids, were chores and sometimes we, like, moaned and groaned about, are actually, like, caring for our space and caring for our body and nourishing, like, everything,
Mhm.
um, and it's just, like, really funny to think about. It's like now as adults, we can actually, like, play with those things, as like as a tool. It's like we gotta do it anyway, We gotta feed ourselves or, it's really nice to keep our rooms clean. Um, but it shifts us too, like when we're like, "I don't know what to do." It's like, "Well, here's this. Let me just do this instead." You know? And,
There's studies
it's
that oh, I'm sorry.
oh, no, it's okay. I was just like, I've had, like, the most profound breakthroughs when I'm washing the dishes,
I love that.
you
Yeah,
know?
driving's a big
Yeah,
one for you, but
yeah, driving's
uh,
huge. I, like, channel a lot while driving. It's cool. I scream
mhm.
and cry, everything in between, you know? But, oh my god, wow, what a conversation, Kieran. This has, like, been such an absolute pleasure having you on here
Hmm.
and just being able to talk all things creativity from, like, I don't know, what we're up to at the moment, what we're feeling, how our bodies, like, do things, and, even getting through, like, the feeling of stuckness. I'm like, "Ugh, oof, oof."
Yeah.
Um I guess, like, because we are at a, like, 60-minute mark, I'd love to, like, ask, like, is there anything that, like, feels like it's coming up within you that you would like to share with the good people of the YouTube? And Eva's here with us. Hi, Eva. I love you so much.
Eva, my girl. Oh my goodness. Oh
Such
goodness.
a pleasure. Mm.
I That's such a broad question,
Yeah.
and I guess just, like, reflecting on where I've been these past couple months to
Mhm.
this point right now, um, is like I feel in such a good place because I feel like my soul is finally, like, coming through and coming back, and
Mm.
I think that to add on that is, like, I've been through it, like, these
Mhm.
past couple months, and we don't realize that everything that is happening to us is for us, and when
Mhm.
something doesn't feel good and something sucks, but you keep
Mm.
showing up and you keep doing it, you're settling,
Mm.
and yes, sometimes we settle for the almighty dollar, I've been known. But, it's it's interesting when you, like, leave those for me, I'm kinda talking about a job, but, like, when you leave those positions or leave those relationships or leave those, eh, environments, even, like, your home, and you give yourself something that feels more aligned, more soul aligned, just what changes and what opens up and how you feel after all of that, and I think this whole conversation has really come down to how it feels, and it's like, does it feel good or not in your body, in your mind, in your heart, everything, you know? Um, I bring this up in one of my podcast episodes too, but, Joe, who is someone who's been really important in my life, always said, like, back in the day, people used to feel. They didn't think. They just felt everything. And we've gone so far away from that, and I think I'm just on this journey now to coming back to
Mm.
feeling and then trusting that, just
Mm.
not not overthinking it and not going against it as Eva, who
Yeah.
is listening with is probably laughing at me right now because she knows I love to resist a good fight, but, just
Mhm.
going with that and then, like, trusting and seeing how that goes and how that unfolds, so, yeah,
Oof.
yeah.
Oof, so much wisdom in there. Ooh. I love it. Oh my god. Whoo, wow.
Thank you, Gabby.
Ugh, the unfolding. The ever, forever unfolding.
Yeah. And also, Gabby and I just recorded a podcast that is really good about people pleasing, and
Yes.
everyone listening should give it a listen, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of wisdom from Gabby as well in there, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes, it's, Kieran's, got this amazing podcast that she started called Take Time Podcast. Go give it a follow on Instagram. Check out that Spotify. There's some really good juicy stuff in there. Like even besides the episode that we recorded, there's a lot of really good wisdom that
If you
this
want to
gal
know
has
way
to
too much
share.
about me, go listen. I'm just kidding.
All good. Hey, you out here. We out here.
Learning.
So worth it. Yes, love the support you love it. Love it. Yeah, I think I'm feeling so grateful first off that we somehow made this happen and I was able to jump through all of the Kieran knows. I this morning when she texted me, "Are we still on?" I was literally like in I'm on day 2 of my cycle. So I was in cave brain mode, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just need food. And like when she was talking to me and I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. Cause like I've been recording so much content on like stop waiting, do it anyway. So I really wanted to put that into practice and just see what would happen. And I did the thing where with the notebook and wrote the things down and moved my body and look, we're still here. We're happening. All the questions have been answered and it's done. And I'm so grateful that you could join us today, Kieran. Like this is it's always such like an absolute gem talking with you and oof, I'm like literally buzzing right now with just like inspiration. Like I'm definitely gonna sit down for a little bit like after this and just like ground like what we just talked about. Like there's a lot. I want to take some notes, There's some solid notes in there.
All this
But
makes me want to make a curry.
oh, ooh, yummy, yummy,
I don't have
yummy.
anything to make it though.
Yeah, I made like impromptu like curried scrambled tofu before. That was like I want something good, but you know. Oh, Kieran, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes,
Thank
please
you.
give her a solid follow, please. Do you want everybody to follow the Light of Kieran as well as the Take Time podcast sort of thing? Or I can always put the details in the show notes. Sounds
Just
fancy.
TikTok,
All right.
Instagram,
Yeah.
Spotify,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. We out here. We out
Good.
here. We're
Good.
we're
Good
keeping
enough.
on. Keeping on.
Thank you for having me,
Aw.
Gabby.
Yay. Thank you for being here. Alrighty. Let's just give it a nice little wiggle and like wiggle out. When you're
Oh, wow.
ready. What you got?
Oh no. Oh, it's making me do robot things.
Oh no. It's all
Oh,
good.
gosh. Anyway, sorry. This is the
That's
TikTok
okay.
vibe.
Whatever it feels like to wiggle.
Okay. I don't know if
Whatever it
that
feels.
stopped at all, but whatever.
It's okay. You're all
And
good.
I don't even know how to turn this off. And live.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're okay.
My
All right.
first
I
time doing
think that's it.
live.
All right. Let's just actually take a nice like stretch overhead, like since we've just both been sitting here. Maybe open the front of your body, the side of your body, feel your ribs open, and maybe in an exhale you just let out a sound.
Mumbo.
The victory screech.
Mm,
Thanks, Kieran. I appreciate you so much.
appreciate you. Bye.
Bye. Have a great night. Yay, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. And so I have this live right now. I'm going to be able to have this episode of Dream Stream live by Friday on YouTube for you to watch the replay, and I will have it up on the Spotify. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to both Kieran and I talk about creativity. I'll see you very soon. Bye.